The Krasinski Palace, also known as the Palace of the Commonwealth, is a reconstructed Baroque palace in Warsaw, Poland, on Krasinski Square. Initially erected between 1677 and 1683 for the powerful Krasinski family, it was heavily damaged during World War II and rebuilt in the mid-20th century. History and architecture. The palace was built in 1677–83 for the Voivode of Plock, Jan Dobrogost Krasinski, according to design by Tilman van Gameren. It was decorated with pediment reliefs showing the triumph of the legendary ancestor of the Sleporun and Corwin Polish clans, the Roman commander Manius Valerius Maximus Corvinus Messala, and sculptural work, all by Andreas Schluter. Jan Dobrogost Krasinski, who also served as the royal clerk, was a descendant of old Mazovian nobility and an heir to a large fortune. After his father's death, he wished to erect a magnificent residence in the capital which was to fulfill his excessive political ambitions and show his enormous pride, which made him cultivate and develop a 16th-century legend about the antique origin and alleged royal connections of his family. Krasinski was well acquainted with French culture and architecture. He was interested in hiring qualified and renowned French artists and architects that would perform the work. He kept a detailed accountancy book in which he systematically recorded progress in construction. The whole idea was realized according to the design of Tilman van Gameren. He was of Dutch origin, educated in Italy, and he was brought to Poland by the Lubomirski family. He made a large number of various designs for Lubomirskis, the royal family, the representatives of different noblemen and gentry families, as well as for the Catholic Church. Some Warsaw architects were also employed to build the palace as building contractors, as suppliers of materials, or to control the master craftsmen, bricklayers or artisans. These people were Joseph Bellotti, Jacob Solari, Isidor Afida and Maderni. The main role in decorating the palace was played by German sculptor, Andreas Schluter, who had previously cooperated with Tilman. The first-floor porte-fenêtre was crowned with a cartouche supported by two angels bearing the founder's monogram JK for Jan Krasinski. The frescoes were made by John III Sobieski's court painter Michelangelo Poloni. Among his notable works in the palace, most worth mentioning are the plafond and frescoes in the superports of the palace's vestibule. Molding which remain in vestibule and partly in the stairwell. Also the heads of pilasters or festoons on external elevations made of stucco, as well as the armorial cartouche of the facade from the garden side, were made by unknown artists under the supervision of Joseph Bellotti. The lost paintings in the vestibule destroyed during World War II were painted by Michael Poloni. The interiors were partially finished by 1699. Other paintings by Albrecht Dürer, Antonio da Correggio, Rembrandt and Peter Paul Rubens are no longer present. The palace garden complex was created on a vast property between Daluga and Świętojarska streets, in the place of the old manor house with small garden that belonged to Krasinski. Krasinski purchased some surrounding plots to extend the gardens. According to Gameren's conception, the palace was intended as a French-style palace entre cour et jardin with cour d'honneur, two symmetrical outbuildings, parterre garden with three radial alleys and a palace in the center of the axis, but it was never fully accomplished. In 1765 the palace was purchased by the Rzeczpospolita and became the seat of the Treasury Commission. After a fire in 1783 it was remodeled according to Domenico Merlini's design. During the interwar period, the palace housed the Supreme Court of Poland. The palace was burned down and partially demolished by the Germans during World War II, with the outer shell remaining mostly intact. Today it is a part of the Polish National Library's Special Collections section from the Zaluski Library.